War is dreadful. Most of the nations worldwide do not prefer war, but due to obstinacy of some nation and their leaders, the world had to suffer bitter experience of war. 2 world wars in the recent history were fought and the result was dreadfully destructive. The B Company of 7th Gorkha Rifles under British Army stationed at 33 Milestone, Ningthokong, along the Tindim Road, Upper Burma, was ordered to fight the Japanese soldiers. The Japanese force had earlier totally annihilated the soldiers of 2-5 Gorkha Rifles. As the fear of losing gripped, Lieutenant Colonel McDowley commanded the company of Ganju Lama to attack the enemy. No sooner but they saw 3 enemy tanks advancing towards them. If they were not stopped, it was certain that they would completely destroy the entire soldiers stationed there. The very moment, Rifleman Ganju Lama with great courage and wit crawled towards the enemy line and patiently waited for the tanks to advance. As the first tank moved, he showed doughty courage and fired at the tank, which not only hit the target but also destroyed the enemy. As the second tank advanced, he moved nearer and shot it, which resulted in tank to flick near the cliff. But due to onslaught of firing by the enemy, Ganju Lama was injured. Even though several bullets pounded his hand and feet, injuring him seriously, he managed to crawl to safety to the nearby trench. Recognizing his gallantry, the then British regime honored him with the highest military award of Victoria Cross. The valorous soldier Ganju Lama was born on 26 July 1922 in a landlord family of Kinchuk Bhutia in Ninjim Bhutia at Sangmo village near Ravangla under South Sikkim. During that time, Sikkim had only few schools for getting education. Ganju Lama's father admitted him to a private tuition with a person called Nim Pincho, who was at that time somehow known as one of the educated folk. However, as he was getting more of a beating than studying, he stopped getting education and started strolling and grazing animals. One of his elder brothers had joined the defense force as personnel of Assam Rifles. When he came back home during vacation, Ganju Lama was very much impressed by military dress that he also vowed to become an army man in near future. The British government during the time was in need of many young bloods in the army. To enroll the youths, they used to send agents to villages who were also known as Galawat. One fine day, when Ganju Lama was sent to Singtam Bazaar to sell cardamom, he happened to meet an agent named Jitman Limbu. Initially, the agent did not heed to the request, but as Ganju Lama persisted, he agreed to take him. Ganju Lama, along with other youth, marched on foot to Darjeeling, which was one of the recruitment centers, and got enrolled as an army man. Though his original name was Gyamso, as a recruitment officer mistakenly wrote his name as Ganju, and with this very name, he went on to become world famous. After the recruitment, they were sent for training at Palampur in Punjab province. After a rigorous training of 6 months and additional 3 months of jungle warfare training, the 16th Gorkha Regiment, to which he belonged, was sent to Burma, presently in Myanmar, to fight the Second World War. Ganju Lama, who had fallen injured and unconscious by the enemy bullets after having annihilated 2 tanks, was searched, rescued and hospitalized for treatment. After learning of him being injured, his brother and father soon reached to see him in the hospital.
Well, this man had challenged him on, or stuck a bayonet, tried to kill him on the track going up with the ammunition. And Ganju turned around and killed him with a bayonet. And that was the first time he'd been into action, which said something for him, quite obviously, that he was a brave man then.
दुश्मनलाई भगाउनु मार्नु अगाडि बढ्नु पछाडि नफर्किनु हाम्रो हामीले जानेकै त्यति हो।
The war had ended and peace prevailed, while German dictator Adolf Hitler had accepted his defeat. The British regime had announced to honor the indomitable gallantry of the soldiers by giving Victoria Cross and military medal, and among the chosen one was Ganju Lama. The news of him being honored was relayed while he was recuperating in hospital. On 24th October 1944, a special program was organized at Red Fort in New Delhi. Along other valiant soldiers, Ganju Lama was also honorably brought there. Since his wound was yet to be healed, he was driven in a wheelchair and was handed the Victoria Cross and military medal by the Viceroy Lord Oval on behalf of British Crown His Highness George V.
Then I heard after a few months in Lucknow General Hospital, you got this medal and that, but I don't know what is the medal, what is the decoration, because I am simple soldier.
After India gained independence on 15th August 1947, agreement was reached between the British and Indian government to divide the Gorkha regiments. According to the agreement, 4 regiments were to go with the British, while the rest would come under the Indian Army. A new 11 Gorkha regiment was established for those wanting to join the Indian Army. Ganju Lama also decided to stay with homeland India and went on to become decorated soldier of 11 Gorkha Rifles. As an Indian Gorkha soldier, Ganju Lama was posted at Palampur, where he learned English language and later on went to become an instructor. In his nearly 2 decades of service in both British and Indian Army, with indomitable valor, sincerity and fidelity, even though recruited as a rifleman, he went to don the badge and uniform of captain, a rare feat achieved by a Sikkimese and an Indian. In the year 1964, Ganju Lama was appointed as one of the 80 camp of President of India. Even though he was due to retire in 1969 on the recommendation of the then Army Chief Field Marshal General Manekshaw, his tenure was extended for further 3 years. Finally, in the year 1972, he retired as an honorary captain. Ganju Lama never got an opportunity to step in school. With the view that no children of his school should remain like him, during one of his annual vacation in the year 1956, after discussing with the village folks, he established a school at his native village, Sangmo. In the year 1975, the school got recognition from the government. The old school that he had established is still in place. He has to his credit number of social work done. A monastery was constructed at his personal expense, got village roads constructed, and helped the poor and downtrodden with open heart. Recognizing his courage, the erstwhile Chogyal of Sikkim, Sir Tashi Namgyal, had conferred upon him the charter. Later, the last Chogyal of Sikkim, Sir Palden Thondup Namgyal, conferred upon him the highest award from the palace, Pema Dorji. Sikkim merged into the Indian Union in the year 1975. The ruling Sikkim Sangram Parishad government appointed Ganju Lama as the chairman of the State Bank of Sikkim. Similarly, the Sikkim Democratic Front government not only named a school at Ravangla as VC Ganju Lama Memorial School, but also honored him by naming the road stretch from Ravangla to Singtam as Ganju Lama Road. The 17th Mountain Division of the Indian Army, stationed in Sikkim, also has named its entrance gate at Deorali as Ganju Lama Dwar, which was earlier known as Black Cat Gate. During his lifetime, Ganju Lama was honored and felicitated by a number of institutions both in India and Nepal. In the year 1998, his complete life biography was also published.
I feel proud and गर्व लाग्छ कि उहाँको सुपुत्र हुनमा लाइफस्टाइल जुन चाहिँ हुनुहुन्थ्यो उहाँले एकदम हामीलाई पुरै अनुशासनमा राख्नुहुन्थ्यो एकदम स्ट्रिक्ट लभिङ फादर.
The spirited soldier of the era took his last breath on 1st July 2000 at the age of 78.
A state mourning was announced by the government as Governor, Chief Minister and his cabinet colleague as well as senior officials from the state along with his well-wishers gathered in huge numbers to pay tribute and last respect. Delegates from British High Commission also came to pay final homage to the valiant soldier. Ganju Lama married twice and had 9 sons and daughters and as many grandchildren. Though his mortal body has left, the story of his courage and valor will be remembered till eternity by this world.